I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. Right now I'm going to show you how to wrestle on the inside. So this is when you're on the inside, in close range, in a clinch, or for whatever reason you're making contact with each other and you're not punching. I'm going to show you head manipulation, arm manipulation, body manipulation, and then I'll show you how to push, pull, lift, and spin and crush your opponent. Let's start off with pushing. For example, right now we're going to make contact. Okay, he's going to extend his arms, I extend my arms. Okay, I want you to understand that even though I have two arms touching him, touching Van, my opponent, there are actually 4 points of contact. One is my glove, my left glove. 2 is my right glove. 3 is his glove. My shoulder can push his glove. And 4 is my other shoulder. And it doesn't have to be my shoulder. Maybe it's on my chest. Maybe it's on my stomach. But wherever he's making contact with me, I have all 4 points to push. Now if you forget this, you might only be using your fist and forgetting to use the other part, your shoulders, okay? You have more points of contact than you think. Even if he's the only one pushing me, let's say he's pushing me, I can still push him. I can strengthen my core and force him back and resist him back with just my body. Okay, don't just let your body hollow out and then you try to push him with your arms and then you can't, because now his whole body is pushing. You have all these points of contact, not just with your hands on him, his hands on you. Wherever they are, wherever you have contact, you can use that to push. For example, he's on my hips, I can use my hips to push him. How to win the battle of the straight push. So here we are, we have contact, we're leaning on each other, okay? We're using all points of our contact to try and force each other back. The first thing I'm going to tell you is to try to be straight up. It's very common when wrestlers, guys who wrestle a mentality, they try to go down and they're thinking this, okay? They're thinking this kind of mentality. I actually don't think of it like that. When a guy goes down, let's say he drops, okay, and he's coming low and he's pushing me low. If I try to push back at him, he will win. For sure he will win because he's down there. What I would do in a situation like this, let's say he's pushing at me from here, is I would try to use my weight to project him up. I don't push back. Okay, if I push straight like this, I will lose this battle. So if he's coming into me, I project him up like that. Okay, and then now I can move him. He can be as low as he wants. Let's say he's super low. Okay, he's super low. Instead of me trying to go like this and resist, I actually go straight. I go straight up and I resist him. And I keep lifting. You see how when I lift him, he can't get his weight down to push me. So that's what I do. I keep my feet in closer. It's a scary thing when you don't understand the concept. It's very scary because nobody likes to stand straight during a push. Okay, the moment we push, I'm gonna lose this if I stand straight. But if I think of it like this, he's pushing and I'm lifting, okay? So I'm almost going like this. Okay, I can stand like this. Okay, so let's say he's trying to push me. I can lean back like this. And I can resist him. And I resist this, and I resist this. Okay? Because this can be used against me later. I just stay straight, and I walk into him. So look at this. I walk into the clinch, and I push him back. So that's the first thing. Stay straight and try to lift him instead of pushing directly back. Don't try to do the hips thing away. That's another one. Don't do the hips thing away. Just bring your hips in. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Trust. 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 You see, you will win that battle. So first, we were talking about a straight push. Now we will talk about an angled push. So let's say anytime we're pushing straight into each other. Anytime we're pushing straight in, you go at an angle. Okay, there you go. We push straight in. Here it is. I turn, and there you go. Doesn't matter how I turn. Okay, I can take one foot out, boom, I turn, and there you go. I'll demonstrate with just the gloves. Okay, if I just deflect it, it will deflect him off to one side. I mean, this is basic physics, but just remember that, okay? Let's say we're in here. We're shoulder to shoulder. Okay, we're shoulder to shoulder right here. Watch, here it is. I'm gonna turn my chest, boom, and there he goes. The next thing you wanna learn is how to lift a guy. When I lift a guy, I use my shoulder and my hips. I get my shoulder and hips under, and I just walk him, okay? It's usually from this kind of position. So let's say, for example, I find my head under here. I get my hips under, I get my shoulder under, and I start to walk him. And I walk him, and I walk him. That's how I lift an opponent. Maybe I'm not under his arm. Maybe I'm over here in the front of under his forearm. Shoulder and hips under, and just lift him up, and walk him in. Don't push him, okay? When you push, it's hard. If he's a stronger guy, it's hard to push. But if you can lift him, get your weight under, lift him, and once you lift him, he's gonna be like this, and you just walk him through. With some skills, you can do it without using your arms. It's not this, okay? Just natural. Watch me, okay? Let's say we're fighting. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? You see? I'm constantly applying that lifting pressure while I attack him on the inside. The lifting tactic is especially useful when you are in a headlock position. Many guys end up in this headlock position right here, and they're very uncomfortable. Look, anytime that you slip you do a slip and your head goes through like this and you feel difficulty pulling it back out, don't ever pull it back out, because if you pull it back out, he leans on your back. It's very hard, it's very tiring. When your head is already here, go through him. Let's say your head's here, look, I walk through and look at this. I'm gonna go behind him, and there's my punch. My head is through here. I'm not going to go back out. Once I'm here, I'm just going to go through. And look at this. I'm behind him now. And boom. Now I'm going to flow so you can see how it's done in a more realistic manner. Blah, 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 blah. Just punch. You see? And I find my way. I try to get through him. Okay? Anytime that he locks my head right here, boom, I immediately find a way to go behind him. Okay? So I come from behind him on the side, and check this out. From this position, I use his own arm to protect my face while I throw my own punches. If my hips were back here, now I'm in trouble. He can throw it at my body. But now if I walk my hips through, I am behind him. So find a way there. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to spin an opponent. Many people think spinning an opponent literally means to do a fancy pivot. So many people think spinning is like you come in and then you do this. It's not. If you want to spin your opponent, you gotta make contact, okay? You walk in, you crash. Crash your shoulder, crash your hips, make contact, collide, and then let the momentum turn you. I'm gonna try to do it right now. We're boxing, and boom, okay? And there's the spin, boom, boom, okay? Sometimes you're gonna feel like you're not able to collide in a way that makes you spin. Sometimes it's just boom, like that. There are different angles. Now, actually, he's southpaw, so it's going to be a little different for me. If he was orthodox, it's actually be more easier. You want to collide and go through. So it's not like I'm going straight in and boom like this. No, it's like I'm coming off at an angle. Okay? It's not like I'm coming straight through like this. It's more like an angle like that. If you have two guys wrestling on the inside and punching on the inside, and we collide, you're going to see. Okay, you're going to see something like that. You can't really force a spin. It's something that you're comfortable with, and then in the heat of the moment, because we're being wild, whatever we throw ourselves, okay, it just happens. I'm trying to feel the momentum, so I need him to bump me too. So maybe if he bumped me, it would help me. Let's say we're wrestling right here. Okay, boom, there you go. That will help me again. Okay. So that will help me. Later on, as you become more skilled, more better, you'll find ways to like grab around the waist. Like right now, his feet are kind of wide. So for me to spin, it would have to kind of throw him off balance. But let's say we were closer, our feet are closer or something, then it would really allow us to get around each other like that. But the main idea is if you want to spin, you want to get a spin, make contact and then pivot, okay? Make contact, hang, and then pivot. Make contact, then pivot. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to pull an opponent. When you want to pull an opponent, use centripetal force. So right now, extend your arms a little bit. It's not your muscle effort. I take my hips and I just kind of do this. And this is a centripetal force, okay? Let's say if he didn't resist as much, it would feel like this. Okay? So kind of like when you swing a little kid, okay? When you swing a little baby, and the baby swings around like Superman. It's that same effect. You can use that centripetal force on one arm. One arm's all you need. Okay, and that's enough. Even if I have this arm here, I don't have to be afraid of him throwing that right hand at me if I'm swinging, because he can't. I suggest you to try this at home with a partner. You'll see how powerful this centripetal force is. What I'm doing is I'm using my hips and body, and I'm kind of leaning back and going in a circle, either pulling one way or I'm pulling the other way. Some advice about this centripetal force, this pulling method. It can be very quick. It doesn't need a setup. Maybe we're up close in here, right in here. Right away, I have this clip, okay? I have this. That's enough. It's very quick, just here, and boom, there you go. Very powerful, okay? You don't have to like judo this thing and try to trip him. Another tip I can give you is you don't need your arms so much, just use your core. Let's say he has you, he's grabbing you, right? I control my hips, I control my weight, and in 1 second, boom, there you go. He's off. Again, maybe on this side, he grabs me on this side. Watch this, 1 second, boom, okay? He loses balance. Another tip, put your feet closer together, okay? So I see so many guys trying to pull their opponents with their feet out here. This is not gonna work. Let's say he has wide feet. Okay, he has wide feet. Now watch, check this out. I'm gonna pull him. In this moment, I will take this foot, bring it together, I will clear a hole, and you will see him fall right through it. And there it is, he goes right through it. I'm pushing him, I'm pushing him, I'm pushing him, I'm pushing him, combine my feet, and boom, there he goes, there he goes. Very powerful. You can also play with this momentum because the really good amateur fighters, man, they know how to muscle on the inside. They will use their weight too. So you can take turns. Sometimes you're heavy, sometimes he's heavy. So me and Van, we're gonna try to take turns swinging each other. Okay, so here it is. Me to him. Okay, him to me. Him to me, and then I let him go, and then I use his own weight. So take turns swinging each other. You're gonna muscle around. Sometimes when a guy beats you, and you know you're gonna go swinging, just go with it and then center and swing him using his momentum. Another way to use the pulling technique is to fall back at the right time. So let's say we're in the clinch, we're pushing, and if I feel there's a moment where he's really pushing into me, okay, he's really pushing into me, here it is, I'm gonna take advantage of it and I fall back. I'll show you again. He's really pushing, really pushing. I'm going to push him till I make him commit. And here it is, I put my feet together and I fall back. And when I fall back, he falls back too. So use that to your advantage. So I was showing you how to push a guy, how to pull a guy, how to lift a guy, how to spin a guy. Those are all ways of manipulating his body. Now I'm going to show you how to control his head and his arms. First thing, when it comes to the head, okay, controlling his head, you really just want to crush him or angle him off to the side. I try to get it over there. I try to get it under here. Okay, if I can't use my arm, I use my chest. I find a way. Now see in this case right here, you see how he's trying to escape and go out that way? And he's getting behind me? So I watch out for that. When I want to guide his head, I can use my arms, okay? If I miss a hook, let's say I miss a hook and he rolls under. Okay, and he might counter me. Now check this out. I keep my arms on him. Boom. Okay, and I keep this forearm on him, and I walk into him, okay? You may have seen some popular fighters use this technique before. Whatever punches I throw, I just find a way to keep a forearm on him. Another thing, my head. Let's say when he's controlling my head, here's a basic rule. I try to keep my head on top. I try to keep my head on the outside, okay? My head is on the outside. This is better for me. If my head's on the inside, it better be strong. It better not be to the point where he can push me down. If my head goes through his armpit, remember this rule? If my head goes through here, that means I'm going behind already. When your head goes through here, you're behind. If you're behind, just keep continuing to get behind him. Okay, don't try to pull your head back out. Now about the arms. You try to guide each other's arms, okay? There's a lot of this. You parry, you swing, you push, you control his arm. Put your chest in there and then use your arms. The biggest tip for using the arms, I found, is that many beginner fighters don't know how to use their arms because they're always trying to prepare their arms to punch. When they get inside, they still have this like punching mentality that their arms are for punching. Don't think of it. When you're inside, your arms are now for controlling. So don't keep your arms to yourself. Put your arms on him, okay? When you're inside, start doing this. Yeah, don't worry. You might be exposed and vulnerable, but you're harassing the hell out of him. You're making it hard for him to get to you, okay? Okay, open up. You see this? You see this? Don't be afraid that he might push or punch over you. Stick your arms out. When you're in close range, arms are now for controlling, not so much for punching. Be comfortable with that. I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also check out my website, expertboxing.com, for more great boxing tips. Thanks for watching.